Hello friends. Everyone loves minis, right? So today we're going to be making minis for our Christmas tiered tray. Let's get started crafting. We're starting out with some Marquee paint by DIY and of course some scrap wood. This is about a 1.5 inch by 1 inch little block that I just had in my stash, and this little wooden angel that came in a pack from Dollar Tree. I'm going to clear wax this by DIY, and I'm going to take some of this beautiful ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree. I love this little crocheted ribbon. It's different than the one you get on the roll. This one just came in a pack. I got this one when I was visiting in Colorado, and I love it. So I'm just going to glue it on the top and the bottom so it doesn't shift around, and glue it down. There we go. And then I'm going to take a little, I'm going to glue my little angel on and get all the little glue strings off. Then I'm going to take just a little piece of that ribbon and I'm going to tie it up in the center with a little piece of string. This is a little piece of embroidery string. You could use a little piece of twine or, you know, whatever, and it makes a little bow. And I'm just going to tie that really tight. I'm not sure why I'm taking so much time to do that, but I want it to be perfect. And I am a pick and poke and fluff, and I kind of piddle around a lot. That's a good Texas word, piddle. If you know the true meaning of the word piddle without Googling it, put it in the comments below. Let me know. I do know because I looked it up one time. And it's hilarious, but we say piddle around a lot in Texas. I grew up saying that, and yeah, it's pretty hilarious, the true meaning of it. I'm going to take a little bit of faded burlap on a dry brush and just dry brush the edges a little bit. Aviary by DIY is a new paint color to me, and I am in love with it. It is a great farmhouse green for Christmas, and I'm just going to paint these little blocks from my stash. Almost everything that I used today, I think everything I used today was in my stash. So I'm going to use this faded burlap, and I'm going to dry brush the edges and a little bit around on these little blocks just to give it some dimension. You know, I love my dry brushing and distressing a little bit, so I'm just going to dry brush around the edges of these little blocks. And then I'm going to take my IOD stamps, and we are going to stamp the word joy, the letters J-O-Y. So I got this IOD stamp from Two Chicks Home and Market over in Denison, Texas, and Elsie over there has a great little shop, so I'll leave her link in the description box below, and you can go and check her out. If it is your first time to purchase from her, you can use that link and get 10% off your first purchase. Now I'm going to just use this little piece of plastic to help me stamp these letters on here and give myself something to hang on to. So I'm just using the black ink from IOD, and I'm just going to stamp the letters J-O-Y. Once I stamp it, I take my baby wipe, wet wipe, and clean it off really good and place it back on the sheet. So we're going to do the J, the O, and the Y. I think this turns out so cute. Then we're just going to simply glue the 3 pieces together. If I would have been thinking, I probably would have put the shorter piece in the middle or done something a little different with that, but it's fine. I like the way it turns out. Now, I've had this green and white variegated yarn in my stash for a long time. I've been using this for a while. I got it at Dollar Tree, and I love it. And I'm going to use it. I'm going to twist it a little bit right there. You can see me twisting it. And I'm going to use it with some twine and just wrap it around here one time. I'm going to glue it down. And then I'm going to make a little bow and stick the little bow in the middle. Pretty sure I'll make a bow. Getting ahead of myself here. Can't remember what I did. Oh, did you see me trying to get that bug out of the way? Yes, I'm going to make a little finger bow. If you don't know how to make the finger bows, they're so simple. I do have a tutorial, a slowed down tutorial in real time on that. I will link that in the description box below for you. How to do that, and a tassel. And I forgot to seal this up, so I'm going to seal it up with some Big Top right now. And this little cute little sitter for a mini tier tray will be done. I'm going to start out with this little spindle that came off of a chair with some Marquee DIY paint and give it one really good, nice coat. The top, the bottom, the sides, all of it. And then once it's completely dry, I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and I'm just going to sand down some of it just to give it a little bit of a distressed look. And once I do that, I wipe it down really good with a clean cloth. And then I'm going to take some Big Top by DIY, which is a top coat, a sealer. We want to seal our DIY paints because they are clay-based, and we want to seal them so they don't get reactivated when they get wet or moist. Okay, so that little wood round, I glued that to the bottom of the wood round. I also glued a little clear glass votive candle holder that I had in my stash from some other project. And I'm just going to wrap some twine around the top of the spindle and the bottom of the spindle. Put a little votive in there. I guess I was seeing how it was going to look. And this is a super cute little candle holder for a tier tray. I have a whole bunch of those little wood rounds in my stash because people tend to donate things to me when they no longer want them anymore. And so after events or weddings or what have you, and people are getting rid of the decorations, they just donate them to me. So I have a bunch of those little wood rounds. I also have purchased them on Amazon. I think they're in my description box below. I'm going to take some faded burlap by DIY, and I'm going to use this little piece of scrap wood. All of these pieces were just, I didn't even cut them. They were already scrap wood pieces that were just in a little box in my scraps. And I just dug through there and found some pieces that I thought would make cute tier tray decor. I'm just going to paint the whole thing, front, back, sides, all of it. I'm going to take weathered wood and a tiny little paintbrush, and I'm going to kind of twist it around so that it's really pointed. Oh, one more time. And I'm going to make a long line. We're going to make a Christmas tree. I'm going to make one of those tall, thin Christmas trees. So I'm just going to make like it's the trunk and the branches a little bit. You're not really going to see that, but it helps me get started. And now my new favorite, Christmas green. I'm going to take a fan brush and I'm going to just keep working it as you see me doing right here, and over and over and over until I get the achieved look that I'm going for. Starting out just a little short pieces up top and a little bit longer ones at the bottom, but it's really one of those tall skinny trees, so there's not much doesn't get much bigger at the bottom. This was so easy and so simple, and I had fun with this. I'm going to just take some twine. I should have at this point done my Big Top, but I got excited about getting the twine on. So I went ahead and put the twine on the top and glued it down. Then I remembered I should have put the Big Top on. So I went ahead and put the Big Top on and sealed it. Now, I get my DIY products from Sammy at Unicorn Dust Designs. That link will be in the description box below, and you can check her website out. I want you to be very careful when doing this process if you decide to burn off the little fuzzies off of your twine. I've had this piece in my stash from Dollar Tree for quite some time. Now I'm just going to take the little dreaming piece off. These are mountains. I'm going to attempt to make them look like trees. You let me know when I finish if I accomplish that. I tried to peel the paper off, then I tried the trick that I've seen some of my friends do with a wet rag and leave it on there for a little while and let it soak off. And I used my little Cricut scraper and that stuff just comes right off. But I learned a lesson that you need to let it dry completely because it does get the wood a little bit wet. And so I would use the heat gun or dry it completely before I started painting it. So I painted it with Aviary, and you can see that part right there that's wet. It is totally a different color, but that's okay. It looks fine, but in another project, it might not look fine. Particularly this project, it worked out. So I'm going to give it a good coat all the way around, top, sides, bottom, front, back, with this. Then I decided to add a little Monet's Garden to try to darken it up a little bit and give it some dimension and make it look like two different trees. And I didn't really like the way that was looking. And you can see that on the right side and the left side where it was still wet, it's darker, which works okay for this project. But like I said, in some projects, it might not work okay. Then I get out I'm not sure if this is weathered wood or layered chocolate, but I get out some brown and I add a little bit to my green. And I start trying to make it look like a tree. And I just decide I should have used my fan brush. But pretty soon I just give up and I'm like, okay, I'm done. Just forget it. And I'm showing you there where it was wet and you can see that it's darker. Then I get out my IOD transfers. Now, I'm going to tell you something. These things are gorgeous. This is the new Christmas ones. And they are absolutely beautiful. So I just lay it on there and just rub it down just like all the other transfers, rub-on transfers. And this was just easy peasy. Sometimes I have a little trouble and I'll just start from one area and it doesn't want to peel up as easy. So I just start from another area and it peels up quite easy. So if you have trouble with that, just start working from a different area. So this turns out beautiful. It did not stick on that one side where it was still a little bit wet, but it's okay. I take my 220 grit sandpaper and very, very lightly, I'm barely even touching this. I sand it just to smooth it out, distress it the least tiniest little bit, and I think it turns out great. Using Big Top to seal it. And then I'm going in with some more of this beautiful lace ribbon. And I'm just going to put it across the bottom there. I'm going to use my little hot glue. Put a strip of it across the bottom. And then I'm going to use that green variegated yarn and some twine again so that it will match and coordinate with our little joy sign that we made. And wrap it around there. I think I just did it one time. Let's see what I did. Nope, I did it 2 times. And I did like to kind of twist it and, twist that ribbon a little bit. It's not ribbon, it's twine. And then I just made a little bow to stick on top of one of the trees. Let me know if you think they look like trees. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching me make all these minis. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Which one was your favorite? Would you recreate any of these? or send me pictures to my email of the minis that you make for your Christmas tiered tray. But most of all, remember to be still and know that He is God.